evening, everybody. Good evening and good morning. Got a little interesting discussion topic tonight. Welcome to my show tonight. Talking about should folks be checking phones? If you're in a relationship, you know, couples, should you be checking, checking phones, uh, rather, engaged or pending engagement, or if you're married or pending to get married, should checking phones be a thing? I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what your thought process is tonight. Um, should we do that? Should you be doing it? Um, I want to know your thoughts. I want to know. I'm gonna tell you, of course. Of course, I'm gonna tell you my thoughts. Of course, I'm gonna tell you how I feel about it. You know, I feel like when it comes down to a relationship, it should be built upon trust. And so, if I trust you and you trust me, I don't think that it's necessary to um, be going through phones. It could cause a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Uh, it can it cause a lot of problems. Some problems, going to the wrong direction. I've heard of a lot of people saying that I should be able to check my spouse phone because uh, just to make sure that ain't nothing going on, or just to so I can feel secure, so I can feel like everything is peaches and cream. I need to know all the stuff like that. I think, to be honest, if a person has to check phones, or if if that's what you be on, I think you may have some trust issues and some security issues. That's my personal thought. Because if we're together, you know what I mean. I should be able to have my phone around you and text and all that stuff like that without you, peeping over trying to see exactly who I'm talking to, or like even if it's like, 2 a.m. in the morning, if I get a text message and I'm responding, I don't think that, a person should be, trying to figure it out. Who's over there? Who he over there talking to? Or, why you getting the message so late? And, all of that stuff like that. I think that, and I think where it comes in that, and then y'all can talk to me tonight. I think that it comes down to if he hasn't been faithful, or if she hasn't been faithful, that we should be able to um, check each other phones to make sure that everything is everything. Um, I don't think that should be the case, but I think a lot of people, what they do is, like, if somebody cheated or messed around or anything like that, and it's like, oh well, let me see your phone. I gotta check your phone. What's going on your phone? But I tell you something, man. If you out there checking phones and all that stuff like that, man, you gonna find something that you probably ain't gonna want to see. You know what I mean? I've seen it one too many times. It don't necessarily have to be a cheating issue. It could just be a conversation, that someone's having, and somebody was uh, I got it. Okay. It could just be the voice. Let's see. Hold on one second, guys. I'm got a viewer that could be able to join this broadcast tonight. But it could just be a conversation where somebody, you like, man, I really didn't like the dress. I might have said I liked the dress, but I didn't really like it, or something like that. It could be real small, real simple, and you could just find something in there that you don't necessarily like, and it could kind of mess up your mojo, mess up your mind. So I don't think that it's necessary for a person, especially if you're in a relationship. I don't think you have any business, bothering with somebody's phone or anything like that. All right. Can you hear me? We got a viewer on. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir, I can hear you.
If you're talking, we can't hear you. Uh, well, we got a viewer that's going to give some commentary tonight about their thoughts, and we want to see what they think about this, because I think that is I think it can be a bit ridiculous, to be honest. I think it could be ridiculous. Um, oh, I can't hear. I don't know why I can't hear.
Can you hear me,
All
Pastor?
right, maybe there's something wrong with something wrong with my device. I can't hear at all. Um, maybe somebody can help me. Anybody know how to work this thing where you can? I probably should be a little bit more savvy with this. I can't hear anything. So, man, what can I do? Well, I guess maybe you could text in the text what you're saying in the comments as well, because I can't see.
Yes,
Let's see if
sir.
I can bring somebody else on to see what they express their thoughts. Maybe I need to pull up broadcast on another phone. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what you're saying and what you have said, but I'm very curious to know how you feel. So let me pull up my other phone real fast. All right, got another person joining me. I don't know what y'all saying, so y'all hang on. Y'all hang on real fast,
Yeah,
Can you hear
and
me?
hopefully
I
I'll
can
be able
hear
to
you,
see
Sister Alicia,
what you guys
That's
and I can
are
hear
so
saying.
weird.
Pastor, but he probably can't hear us.
That's
All right, let's see
weird. I can
here.
hear him too.
Okay. I don't know if I should leave and try to rejoin or.
All right. I guess while I'm loading my device, maybe you can put your comment in the bottom part. All right, here we go. Yeah.
Wow. Let me text him right now. We can hear each other.
Okay. I can hear it on my other phone. I can't see why I can't get it on this one. All right, that's crazy.
Oh, let me turn my TV down.
Okay. All right. So I can hear you. I guess on my other phone. I don't know why my actual the phone that I have set up on this broadcast. I can't see why I can't hear. But anyway, what are your thoughts since you're here? I guess we'll add.
This is Tori.
Hey, I'm back.
All right, got you back. So okay, so I can hear now. All right, so what were you saying?
My thoughts on that is pretty much what you already said. Like, I feel like if you have to check your spouse's phone, there's some type of insecurity there or lack of trust. Um, and that's just something that me and my husband, we don't do. We do ask for each other phone, but it'll be on some like, oh, let me use your phone to check the internet if I don't have my phone currently on me and I need to like look up like a restaurant or something like that. So there's never an issue of us asking for each other's phone or anything like that, but we don't ask for each other's phone to like check each other's text messages or anything like that.
That's good. So let me ask you this, since since you said that, let me ask you this question, and that's a good thing that y'all don't check each other's phones. So let me ask you this: if there was maybe some infidelity or some suspicious activity that you may have witnessed or believe and all that stuff like that, would you respond the same way? Would you have anything different to say as far as checking?
Um, are you asking if I've witnessed that like in his phone or like in a public setting that would make me want to check his phone? What are you asking?
I'm asking if there's a situation that occurred, a situation to where you see that, say for instance, there was an issue that occurred with another woman that came up. Would it then be different? Would you want to check phones then, since that occurred, or would it still you still have the same opinion?
Um, it depends on what it was that I saw or what the situation was, but of course, I guess it would make me wonder because I would just well no, I wouldn't want to check his phone because I would just go to him personally and ask him like in a verbal conversation and see where it goes from there versus just like going to his phone instantly before having like an actual conversation about it.
Okay, okay. I mean, I can see that, and I can receive that. So why do you think people check phones nowadays?
Because they have trust issues or like you said maybe they have seen something with their own eyes that caused them to want to check their phone, but I still feel like you should be able to have a conversation before going behind your spouse's back and like instantly going to check their phone.
Gotcha. So you think that if something like that does occur, you know what I mean, you're basically saying that it is okay to I guess have that situation going to where you can check their phone and stuff like that. Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't feel like it's ever okay to go behind your spouse's back and check their phone because I feel like that's kind of crossing a line.
Right.
And I feel like that would be like it's kind of like a I don't know. I feel like it would kind of be like a not slap in the face, but something close to it because it's like why don't you trust me enough to just ask me versus like
Checking.
invade my privacy. Not that there is privacy in a relationship, but it's just
Wait,
kind
wait,
of
wait,
like
hold on, wait. Let's stop there. Let's stop there. What you mean by that? Is so there? What do you mean? There's no privacy in a relationship, or
I mean, I
you
feel
don't?
like if my husband paid my phone bill, I mean, he should be able to check my phone, but at the same time, it's just like I mean, there's a lack of privacy, but at the same time, there isn't. I don't know how to explain it, but I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like you should be able to come to me before you check my phone. I mean, there is privacy because I wouldn't go on my husband's phone and look through his like messages because his work requires him to take certain people. So there may be like women's name in his phone,
Right.
but it's just like work related and stuff like that. And it's private details about like their address and all this kind of stuff. So it's I don't know how to explain it.
I got you. I got you. So I guess based upon maybe stipulation or circumstance or something like that, you saying that it's okay or
I don't feel like it's ever okay because that's just saying that you don't trust that person, and not trusting who you're with is not okay. That
right,
you shouldn't be together.
right. All right. So to my other question. Let's go back to the question of if there was an instance where there was, people use the word cheating. If there was cheating involved, does that justify somebody saying, "Let me check your phone"? Is that a justification?
Yeah, I feel like it justifies why I'm asking, because if there was cheating involved, I feel like you should be able to prove to me like there's nothing more than whatever the situation may have been. Like how far is it going? Like has it led to text messages and stuff like that? Like you should be able to prove to me that there isn't if I do ask, because there may have been a cheating situation.
Okay. 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 Well, I mean, I can see that, and I can understand your stance. So when it comes down to cheating, I guess since we might as well just dive into the while we're still in the area. So I guess when it comes down to cheating and there is forgiveness given, do you still think that it's okay to check the phones? Is it okay to kind of see what's going on, who you've been talking to? Is that girl still around, and all that stuff like that, if there is, I guess, quote unquote, forgiveness that was issued.
I feel like if you've truly forgiven the person, then you shouldn't have to keep checking behind them as far as like going through their phone. But I don't know. I just still feel like all goes back to communication. Like there should still be some line of communication before just grabbing somebody's phone or,
So
you know,
let me ask you
plundering.
this. Let me ask you this. So say for instance, you like, "Hey babe, let me hold your phone." He's like, I know he's like, you say, "Hey babe, can I see your phone real quick?" He's like, "Oh, no, 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 no. No, I don't want no, I don't want you looking at my phone." Does that imply something, or what does that mean? Because
Yes, I.
I've seen I've seen a lot of cases where, because somebody say, "No, you can't hold my phone," or "Why are you looking at my phone?" or "Why do you want to," whatever in my phone. I've seen cases where people get, on a point of their mind. They're like, "Man, you must be cheating. You must got something in that phone you don't want me to see."
Yeah.
Whatever,
Me
whatever.
and my husband, we actually used to, excuse me, we actually used to do that in the beginning. It's not that we would want to actually check each other's phone, but it just depends on your response. So, like in the beginning, like, in the very beginning stages, if he would ask me, can he hold my phone? I'm like you said, if I say no, and he gonna be like, well, you must be hiding something or something like that. And so it will actually make him want to check it and vice versa. But if I say yeah,
Is that
he'll
what?
be like,
If that is that what that mean though? Does that mean that if I say no, you're not getting my phone, does that mean that I'm hiding something?
not necessarily, but most times if a person says that, I feel like it probably is true. They probably are hiding something, but I don't feel like that's for everybody's situation.
Okay, okay,
Because like,
yeah,
like
because
my husband, um he has very like personal stuff in there, and I can't be just going through his messages, whether it's um even if he's not, which I know he's not cheating, but even if he's not cheating, like I can't just be going through his messages.
okay. So um, I think and I agree with you. I don't think that even if a person has cheated or anything like that, I don't think that anybody should be looking in phones and all that stuff like that. Because that it kind of kills the vibe that couples can have, and it could be aggravating if somebody's always like, "Oh, let me see your phone. Oh, who you been talking to? Why you gotta go out?" And let me let me ask this question. It's for everybody. And I know your situation might be different because the position that your your husband hold. But when you're somebody calls your spouse and they ignore the call and then they turn the phone down and then call come in and then they answer the phone and walk out. What is that? What goes through a person's mind? Like, what does that mean? Or
Yeah.
what will go?
So, and like you said, since he held a position, like I instantly walk out the room if he doesn't. But before he held the position, I would just be like, I was like, you're not gonna answer that? Like, go ahead and answer. Like, why you gotta decline it? Like, what's up? Like, why you feel like you have to walk out the room to talk to this person?
So so you probably, if that's the case, then you might be one of those people that you know how people get when their phones are when they have their phones sitting down and they have it down like this, people say that means something. You ever heard that? You ever heard that before?
Yeah, but I mean, I do that myself just because, I mean, I don't, it's not that I'm hiding something, but I don't really want nobody, because people nowadays, they just look at your phone, like, they just be all in your business. So if you don't have a privacy screen, like, people gonna look at your phone if they're with you and somebody's calling you.
That's true. That's true. So does that mean anything? Like when the phone is face down?
No, I wouldn't say it does because I do that a lot, but I mean, I can see how people would think so.
Yeah, because I've seen and heard, several people that's like, oh, if you got your phone face down, then that means you're doing this, or you got your phone face down, then that means that you hiding, this, hiding that. So,
Well,
huh?
they could just want to respect their time with you because I know my husband does that a lot because he's big on like, if we're spending quality time together, we shouldn't be looking at our phones. So he'll do that just to respect his time with me. So that doesn't, automatically means that somebody's trying to hide something or anything like that.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I can see that, and I understand that. I think that's good, and I think that should be something implemented all across, the board. With people that are in relationships, I think that is very vital. That when you're with your spouse, or if you're dating or whatever you're doing, I think that it's important to have your phone off or in a position where you could spend that time because I think a lot of times, and a lot of I would say a lot of relationships go south, but when you don't ever get that time, and it definitely depends on the kind of situation the person is in and what type of position they hold. A lot of times they are pulled in a lot of different ways, and of course you need somebody very understanding to kind of allow that to go on. But I think it's good to put that phone down a little bit and enjoy some time with that with that person because I think that's important. I think
Yes,
that's
sir.
very
So, do you feel like there's any situation where it would be okay for someone to check their significant other's phone?
no. I don't think there should be ever um, any instance where somebody should check somebody else's phone. I don't think because one, like I said earlier, you know, it don't even have to be something around on the lines of some cheating stuff. It could just be on the lines of there's something in my phone. I could be having a conversation. Hey, how you doing, Mr. Williams? Thank you
Doing
for
pretty.
joining us.
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, good. And so we over here talking a little bit about do you think that people should look at each other's phones when they're in a relationship? And I was just kind of giving my spiel. Other viewer was asking me a question, and I feel like I don't think there should be ever an instance where somebody's checking the phone because even if it's outside of the lines of cheating, anything like that, you have people that difference. I say, man, my wife that dress, my wife. Hey, man, you know, you know, women look at that. Hey, you didn't, that, but it don't necessarily have to they're eating. So what do you?
Yeah, I think I would agree. I think that I could definitely understand from, I guess, the perspective of someone that was either, I guess in the consciousness like cheated on or something like that, where they would feel the urge or the need to want to check that other spouse's phone. But I can understand one how that could be, profitable for them in a moment. But I think it doesn't set grounds for you to obtain trust back, because once you get in that habit of wanting to check that person's phone, it's almost like you become accustomed to being able to have that kind of access to where you don't need to have trust. And
Yeah.
so, once you've been hurt like that, you get more security in being able to check. And so then now, at what point do you get the grounds to trust again? At what point do you get grounds to believe that that person, isn't cheating or isn't doing what led you to want to check that phone in the first place? So I think that even in the beginning, that's why when it starts off a marriage as a whole, even just companionship, you shouldn't even be in it if you feel like you couldn't trust somebody enough to where if things were to go wrong, that y'all can work those things out. Trust and integrity of who you with, and I think that could be a lot of reason why people be good, because it's a very big topic where people are like, oh no, I'm checking that phone, going through that phone. It's like, but then where's the trust that if you feel like you're getting with somebody who you feel like you have to check their phone, then that's already a bad start in the beginning. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be more thing that's gonna test that relationship than you need to be able to check a phone. So if that's already happened, then I just feel like that's a lot. That's giving a lot of indication. It's gonna be a lot more trouble in the beginning. But it's not that anybody is trying to be hiding anything or secretive. It's just you should trust me without having to go through my phone, because I know one thing. And it could just be a woman's thing versus a man thing, but you're not gonna see me going through my wife's phone. I couldn't imagine myself sitting there trying to scroll through messages, reading messages. I just wouldn't feel like myself doing that, trying to get the inside scoop. So yeah, I maybe just a woman thing. They would want to kind of be involved, but I don't know. As a man, I just couldn't see myself. I couldn't feel like a man while I'm over here tiptoeing through the room while she sleep, trying to grab a phone, trying to read through
That,
messages.
that's and you got people that live, it's crazy. You got people that live their life like that, man. People living their life, been waiting for the wife to go to sleep so they can look through the phone and get somebody that type of feature them they, you know, check my picture. So even with that being said, you don't think that
I think my connection might be struggling. I hear you, but it's kind of going in and out.
oh, well, we appreciate uh, but yeah, I think that it's uh, necessary to to be in a place where you are always checking somebody's phone and trying to find out what's what. We got a comment from a viewer. I think it's not that serious unless you see a whole bunch of random numbers popping up all the time. But like you said, I might be talking in a group chat with my friends and don't want nobody in the chat other than the people in the chat to see. So let me ask you a question. If I mean, even if there is a bunch of numbers that you don't know, is that a red flag? Or, I mean, does that mean that you should have the right to check the phones? Or, does that give you the authority? What do you think, Tori? What's your thoughts?
If I see a whole bunch of numbers popping up, I would just assume that it's a group chat. But either way, I mean, I'm not the type to check a phone because in my mind, I'm thinking on the flip side of it. Like, I wouldn't want nobody checking for me. I just feel like it's a complete turn off, and it would just make me feel weird being in the relationship in general because I don't know. I just feel like it's childish. Like, I mean, parents check in their children's phone, but like we're grown. We're supposed to be grown adults. So like, what where's the trust and where's
Right.
the line of like, I guess, respect and trust. So
I 100% agree. And I was gonna go that to the next part. I was gonna say, if only people that should have the right to check somebody's phone is the parents checking the kids' phone. I don't I don't think and it's so much of this going on, and you should. I mean, we're the few that see it from this angle, but there are a lot of people that believe that they should have access to their spouse phone, their girlfriend phone, boyfriend phone. People think that that needs to happen, but again, I believe that if that's going on, it's because there's one, trust issues, two, security issues, three, a person is just not confident in what they bring to the table, so they always thinking that somebody else, is talking their spouse or whatever the case may be, or talking to their, talking to their girl.
yeah.
So
So I agree with what somebody just said in the comments as well about like people that want to check their spouses or significant others' phone. They're probably doing something themselves. So it's like that they reflect what they're doing on the other person. So now they're like curious, like if I'm doing this, then I wonder what they're doing because I'm out here doing stuff.
right. Yeah, and that's a 100% true. Because it's an old saying, man. If you if you out here, it's normally the person that's accusing somebody of doing something. They normally be the one. You know what I mean? Because they so guilty. So you got people that be guilty for the stuff that they've been doing. So in their mind, they believe that if their spouse move a certain type of way, like they have done, or whatever, in their mind, they automatically thinking like, oh yeah, she cheating. Oh yeah, he cheating. Oh, he doing something he ain't got no business, because that's what they've been doing. You know what I mean? So a lot of times when people be pointing the finger and all that stuff in relationships, man, that's because their conscience is bad because of some of the stuff that they done, did. And I'm not saying it's everybody, but most case scenario, a lot of people be on that. Oh yeah, I know you over there cheating and blah blah blah, and it be because they out there wilding out.
Yes, sir. And I just feel like I don't know, it's kind of pointless to check phones these days because people are getting smart. Like if they know you're checking their phone, like they can save the person who they're maybe talking to name as something else.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it makes you not even want to click on that name because you're like, oh, that's Uncle Bobby. So I know they want to talk
yeah,
about nothing. So you don't even check that one. But really, that's the person that,
yeah.
they could be talking to. So
And they
I don't know.
put
I just feel like it's
names.
really pointless.
Yeah, I done seen names. I even seen somebody save a number as a number. You know what I mean? Like you save the name as an actual number, so it just looked like a random number coming up or something like that. I've seen that. I've seen people put like how some phones that say scam likely.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, yeah, I've seen because they didn't want nobody to know who they're talking to, so they put scam likely and all that stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, people are smart nowadays, and you're right. It's a lot of different platforms and different things like that to where the hard evidence ain't there. But I'll say this, man, if a person is in a relationship and y'all, whatever, I mean, all that checking and stuff, man, because you'll worry yourself, man. You'd be stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
You have a nice little bald spot in the middle of your head from stressing out. You know what I mean? Because you because you thinking that, oh, my wife is doing this, or my husband is doing this, or my girl doing this, or my man doing this. All that stuff going in your mind, man. It stress you out. You'll be done killed yourself trying to keep up with all that stuff. So let me ask you a question. So is it appropriate if a person feel like, their spouse is cheating, or if they feel like their girl, their man cheating? I mean, is that a conversation that should be had, or is that something that you just don't bring up?
I feel like you should definitely acknowledge whatever is on your mind, especially if it's gonna cause you to treat the person differently. Like there shouldn't be any, I don't know, lingering feelings or thoughts because that can just cause like I don't know, just cause bad things to come about in the relationship.
Okay, okay, I can see that. I think that verbalizing your feelings and verbalizing different things like that, it makes sense because I don't think that a lot of things in a relationship should be hidden. Now, I do believe this, that not everything should be mentioned. I believe that. I don't think every single thing need to be mentioned because some stuff would just be, pointless. You know what I mean? You understand what I mean by that?
Yes, sir. I agree. I feel like even if you think like somebody is cheating or you may have like certain ill thoughts about something, I feel like you should wait and like let it play out a little bit just so you can decipher between if it's just you or if it's actually something like that may be taking place. Like I don't feel like you should just automatically jump out and, you know, imply something in conversation because I mean, that could cause something to take place that, could be avoided.
Right. Very true. We have somebody commenting. Thank you for joining. If you resort to checking phones somewhere, trust is broken. Absolutely. Trust is broken 100%. There ain't no trust there if you got to check phones and all that stuff because, I mean, to be honest, I ain't trying to be in a relationship like that. You know what I mean? When I was younger, that's the stuff that kind of, pushed me far, far away, man. Like, hey, let me see your phone. Who that texting? Who is that? I never met her. And I'm like, man, it's my cousin. What's wrong?
Them be the crazy types.
Huh? What you say?
Them be the crazy
Man,
types.
it's just like gather the evidence first. Yeah, true. but yeah. So I just it's a strange thing, man. But some people live their lives like that, man. Some people live their life of I have to feel comfortable, or my comfort in our relationship is knowing that if I see it in my face, like okay, all right, okay, he ain't talking to her. Okay, I don't see her number in there. That I can move forward with my life, with the relationship that I'm in. Which man, I'm telling you, man, that could be rough. That could be a rough relationship.
I
And
would honestly be offended though, because I feel like it would make me think like, well, what do you think of me for you to have to check my phone?
yeah, yeah. And so do you think like let me ask you this, because a lot of times people, I gotta say it. Sometimes people be having these dreams. uh, People be having dreams, man, and like they swear up and down that the dream is reality. So they be like, well, I had a dream that my wife was cheating and I saw it and it felt so real. And then so that in your mind causes you to want to check phone. What do you think about that? How you feel about that?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I have a double standard on it because if my husband woke up, which he wouldn't, but if my husband woke up and told me like, "Hey, I had a dream that you were, cheating on me. Can I check on your phone?" I'd be like, "You're literally crazy." But from my experience, I've had dreams. I know like a lot of women, like when they get pregnant, they have like dreams that the person that they're with is cheating on them, and that's happened to me before. And I'll just wake up and I'll tell my husband, but he does the same to me, like you're crazy, and we just go on about our day. But I don't feel like you should, like you said, cause a dream to feel like it's a reality. Like I feel like I don't know, unless there's already been things that has happened and you have a dream about it. But your thoughts, I mean, the things that you think before you go to sleep can cause you to have a dream about it. So that doesn't, like you said, mean that it's true.
Right, right. For sure. I agree with that. We have a comment, don't get so caught up that you become different and become the other woman. So so what you mean by that? Do you care to expound a little bit more on that? Becoming the other woman. So and I see you put something about getting all the evidence and all that stuff like that. So let me ask you a question. Even if you had evidence and all that stuff, do you think it's necessary to check the phone, or is that when you're supposed to check the phone when you have evidence? Is it then cool to say, okay, I got all evidence I need. Can I check your phone? Is that something, is that what justifies the phone checking moment? What
I
you think?
mean, if you have all the evidence you need, then the phone would. I mean, it wouldn't be no reason for me to check your phone anymore if I have all the evidence that I need. I wouldn't feel like I, at that point, still need to check your phone if I have enough against you. But I understand what the person was saying, because if you have enough evidence, I mean, I guess the phone will be the last resort, I guess, to be the, I don't know, proven factor.
Well, I got you. Hey, look, man, I'm not checking on phones, man. That's just one of the things, man. If I check somebody's phone, my heart gonna start pounding and racing because I'll be thinking like, oh my God, what in the world do I need? What do I need to, what am I gonna find out? And my mind will start going crazy. I'd rather not even.
I'm just not the type to check phone either. If I feel like I have to check your phone, then at that point it's just, I don't even know if I can. If yeah, I don't know. if if it gets to that point, then we shouldn't be together.
So, I mean, and I guess for those of you that are just joining us, this conversation could get, pretty deep when it comes down to. I want to hear from everybody else who got some views on tonight. What thought process? Do you think that people should be checking phones? You think that you should have the right to your spouse phone or your boyfriend, girlfriend, your engaged or whatever, a fiance? Do you think you should have that right or that insight to what they're doing and whatever like that? Um, we've already gave our spill. We don't believe that nobody should be out here checking and looking and hawking people phones. I just think that it can be dangerous. We have a comment here. If you become so caught up in checking phones, mileage, and heart rate, you're losing yourself and becoming someone. Oh yeah, okay, I got you. I understand what you're saying. Yeah, that's true, because that's that ain't you. You know what I mean? You starting to become somebody totally different by doing all these extra steps. And if you done killed yourself, man, you'll be out here, in the crazy house, man, because your mind wandering and all of that stuff like that. So I think what where should you go from there? Now them dreams, man. That's what we got to be careful with. Them dreams is that's the dangerous ones. Having those dreams. People, why y'all be jumping up like the dreams be true though? Like why? What's up with that? Like what's the deal with?
Probably because there was already some type of, because it's not gonna be, you're not gonna talk about a dream that you don't honestly think is true. So it's probably already something that you've been feeling, and then you have a dream about it. So you feel like, oh, that's a justifying moment. So you're like, yeah, like you're like, yeah,
Dreams
but
dangerous.
yeah.
We got a comment here. Before marriage, the person I was with was cheating a lot, so I didn't trust him. But now, being a pastor's wife, family, saints, random numbers you don't know are always calling. You do have to have trust in your spouse. I'm glad you said that. Now, let me ask you this question: since you've been through that experience, how does that make you feel as a wife now? That in your past you had somebody that was always cheating and now you're married. Does those thoughts ever come up? Do you ever have those thoughts of why he not home yet, or anything like that? Do you? Oh, yeah, yeah, come on in, come on in. Yeah, do you hey, what's going on?
Praise the Lord, praise Him.
Welcome to
Hello. Hello,
so
Sister
so so,
Tori and
so,
Pastor Williams as well.
Oh yeah.
How you doing? How you doing?
Hey.
Great. This is a great topic, sir.
Oh yeah. I like to throw out the little spinning wheels. I want to see what everybody think. You know, I'm a controversial guy. So so knowing that you've been in a relationship in the past, do you think that or has it ever came to mind, or have you ever had thoughts? Did it ever haunt you, based upon the stuff that you've been through? Did it have an impact on where you are now?
Um, at, well, I can say at first, when I was courting my husband, I did. I used to call him a lot, like just just to see what he was doing. Of course, we weren't living together, so I really blew up his phone. And I remember one time he was kind of like, I don't understand why you keep doing this, but I never really told him the reasoning. I just was like, okay, well, I guess I should stop because obviously he's not doing anything. But once we once we got married and everything, well, I guess it just goes besides not even being a pastor's wife, just being a wife in general, and you're not with your husband 24/7 because he's at work, or he's doing other things, to take care of the household. And in the beginning, I didn't question, but it was kind of like, oh, he's not home a lot, like 24/7. Like in my mind, like I felt like, even though we get the teaching now, we get this great teaching, in the back of your mind, you still feel like, oh, maybe, he could be home and like doing this. I wonder what he's doing. And you'll start like texting, blowing him up. Or I was in the beginning blowing him up. And I'm talking about like even in the marriage too. I remember calling him a lot, texting him a lot, just trying to see, what he was doing, because of course I didn't know. I knew a little bit because I didn't live with him. I didn't know what his day-to-day schedule was, besides, what we talked about. So
Right.
as far as him not being in the household all the time, I did kind of question it at first, but it was like, either way, I came in as being a pastor's wife. So it was like, okay, I have to like chill out,
Right.
because I can really make him upset, because then again, he will think that I don't have trust in him for whatever reason. Um, then eventually I let him know that I mean, I told him my story, but I told him in depth, like when we got married, like I told him like more, and he was like, okay, now I understand why like you be tripping so bad. But 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 he
You do believe that it came from it stemmed your behavior stemmed from the stuff that happened in your past relationship?
absolutely. I think anybody that has been through a lot within their previous relationship, whether that's marriage, engagement, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, they're going to have some type of inkling of thinking of, I hope I hope I got a good guy, or vice versa. I hope I got a good girl. I hope she ain't, or he ain't, like they say, slipping and tipping, and just doing stuff, hopefully they
Yeah.
being faithful, and, hopefully they're
Yeah.
being faithful. But yes, sir, absolutely.
So do you believe that do you believe that anybody, whether spouse or rather fiance, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, you do you think that people should have the right to check phones?
I don't know. I say in a marriage, definitely not, because now there's a lot of times where, if you all know Pastor Vin, he jokes a lot, and I joke a lot with him. Not many people know that, but I do joke a little bit. And I'll be like, let me see your phone, let me see your phone. And he's like, let me see your phone. I said, you can get my phone, like, I'm an open book, blah, blah, blah. But we joke. But as far as like, I've never
Would be any
thought,
truth behind the joke? Because you know
sir,
sometimes it be truth jokes. Do you think it's a little truth behind the jokes?
um, sometimes I don't know how to take things jokingly sometimes, because so sometimes I would joke and then I get serious. I'll be like, so why can't I check your phone again? Like, so it do
So
get like
so
that
so
sometimes. It do.
I'm
But it's
now it's bringing me to the question now. So do you think that, I mean, if you have any thoughts or whatever like that, so do you think you should check his phone or have the right to check it?
I don't believe so. I don't believe so in a marriage. Like I said,
So
I
what if y'all
never.
wasn't?
Well, I don't even know. Like, I mean, I feel like if you at that time before marriage, if you're
Huh?
laughing, I'm sorry.
Hey,
Pastor
you
Ben's
got up.
Pastor Ben's in front of me. He's just looking at me like, what? Okay. So I'll just say
We
when I was in
we
the
live, man. We need news, man. We need to know what's going on. Let me ask you a question. Do you think he should have the right to check his phone? Do you think that you should? Like, is that something that you think should happen? Rather, I mean, you said not in a marriage, so it seems like you allude to the fact that, if um, you're not married, maybe engaged, you should have the right, or if it's, y'all in the court stage, you should have the right. So you think you should have a right in there somehow, somewhere?
okay, I didn't check his phone because I went with him. You get what I'm saying? So I'm thinking about the people that stayed with their little people. I mean, people that live with each other.
Yes or no?
You said yes or no.
Yeah.
Um,
We just trying to get right? We're not
Yes.
looking for the star. Just trying to,
Yes.
get a straight answer.
Yes.
Do you
Okay,
think?
Journalism.
okay, so okay, I just read what Sister Tori said. So pretty much like
Yes or no?
okay, I say no. I say no
Huh?
in a marriage because honestly, like you should really have that trust before you even get in a
Well,
marriage.
we passed that. We passed. I heard you when you said that. So my next question was, so outside of marriage, you do believe that you should be checking phones?
Not like all day, every day, like, hey, what you doing? Let me just see your phone. But if you suspected something like somebody mentioned about the dreams, those dreams are real sometimes. Sometimes you feel some type of way when you have a dream and you just want to be like, I just want to see, what's going on. Da, da, da,
Oh
da.
man. So
I like it on this
wait,
call.
wait.
I got a question about
That
that.
We're
is
on the call.
Let's talk a little bit. We gotta talk now. We got to get to
she pregnant.
the so you believe that,
Blame it on that.
What can he add on this?
so you believe that you have a dream that your spouse or your boyfriend, girlfriend, wife, or your fiance, whatever, you believe that if you have a dream that something's going on, that you should feed into it by checking phones? Is that what you said?
Not by checking the phone, but asking like questions like, hey, like, what you got going on today? Or like, what you been doing today? So not necessarily checking the phone, but asking like 1,000 questions somewhat. Like asking questions. That is how I see it.
That's no question.
Well,
I got a question.
I
I got
say
a question.
ask questions. I don't have to necessarily check your phone to see if you're doing something, but obviously you'll figure out. I'm thinking about something if I keep asking you questions. I don't have to check your phone to find out information like that. I could just ask you the questions.
Making statements. Azul.
Oh my gosh. Anyways,
So you basically you basically believe that that it can be necessary, or a person should have that right when there's a dream involved. And I think somebody else Francois had a question or something like that. So I'm gonna let him
Yeah, I
ask
got
his
a
question,
question.
then I'm gonna ask mine. Go ahead.
I think that's a good point, and I feel like especially in the space that that we're all in, being Christians and saints of God and things like that, and we understand the nature of being able to hear from God. So how do we differentiate between my thoughts that are leading me to dream this dream, or that spouse saying, hey, I think I heard from God and I think he's trying to show me that you're doing something behind my back? Because I feel like in the
Well,
world or in the secular space where God isn't necessarily involved, then I feel like it's easier to look at dreams as just that. They're just dreams. But then when you get into the space of Christianity and that relationship with God, where now we understand how God can communicate through dreams. Sometimes that spouse would like to lean on that, saying,
Uh,
"Well, this is God speaking."
Well, I will say this. I'd like to, because dreams are definitely subjective and they could definitely be influenced by thoughts. So when it comes down to, people thinking about, cheating, infidelity, blah, blah, all that stuff like that, and the lines of, dreams, it's just, it's difficult to say. But I don't think that, you know, uh, I don't think God whispered in your ear talking about check phones and stuff like that.
Oh
And
man.
some people do, God, I ain't saying God don't speak through dreams or stuff like that, but sometimes because your thoughts, your mind tell you, oh, she did this, he did that, that mind start telling you that. And so, evasively when you go to sleep, you'll have those thoughts, digging through there. So anybody else, what do you think, Tori?
Well, I was gonna ask you because since you were talking about that, I was gonna ask you what would you suggest if a woman had a dream about her husband cheating? How would you what would you recommend for the approach if you don't believe in checking phones?
Well, like we spoke up earlier, I think that I would just we could have a conversation. I don't think that there, when we have conversations or if we're married or if we're in a relationship, I think we should have we should be open. So we were like, babe, I had this crazy dream. You
Mm-hmm.
know, we like, you was out here wilding out. You was out here cheating on me. You wouldn't do that to me, would you? Something like that. You
Yes,
follow what
sir. I agree. I definitely agree with that. That's
Yeah,
that's my thoughts on it as
yeah.
well. Just having a conversation because automatically jump into phones. Like, I don't know. I feel like that's disrespectful and offensive.
Yeah, I think that's very offensive, and because then what if there's nothing going on? What if they didn't do anything, and all
Right.
that stuff like that. That kind of whatever. I have we have another comment here I want to read. I don't think you should have to check your spouse's phone if y'all got a good enough trust with each other. But if she acting so suspicious and you feel in your gut something ain't right, then yeah, check that phone. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I don't know if I agree with that one. I can't agree with that. I don't care how much suspicion you got. I don't think if you suspect something, I don't think that, it should be, checking phones. I think that if there's trust, you should be able to talk about everything, right? And if you build your relationship with trust, now, I'm not saying people don't cheat and people don't do dumb stuff. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that, if that is the case, that there should be some type of conversation. You know what I mean? Let's talk about this. You've been moving funny lately. You know what I'm saying? So I want to know, what I mean, what's what, just have a conversation. I think going through the phones is a bit much because you might find something there that you don't need to see or that you don't want to see. You know what I mean? We got another viewer that's on. Charles, what you think, man? Where you at? What's your thought process on this?
Um, mm, I'm. It's kind of for me. Uh, it's kind of hard to really say what I really want to say because I kind of, out of respect for my wife, if my wife want to go through my phone, then I let her because I have nothing to hide. We have that
Right.
type of relationship together because, you know, we did. I in the past I gave a reason not to go give a reason to go by phone because I wasn't being honest. So if she ever
Right.
asks for it, she has a question to ask, I'm gonna let her go through it because out of respect for her, if she, out of the past I gave to her, the fact that she just felt, to ask me anything, if you want, can I see your phone? Out of respect I give it to her because that shows her, hey, he has something to hide, hey, now he showed me that, I could trust her more and more. And like I said, anytime she asks, I go let her go through my phone anytime. But at
So
first, I wasn't all for it. I wasn't. I never have been that way.
so you believe that if a person is given a reason, or if a person messes up, or if a person indulges in something that they shouldn't in the relationship, you believe that they should have the right, or the other person should have the right to go through their phone if there was trust issues.
If there's distrust or the trust issues are broken, and if she asks, or my wife asks me anytime, for example, she asks me anytime to go through my phone, yeah, I'm gonna go through to show her that there's nothing for me to hide, because I'm trying to build that trust factor back up after I broke it, because I want to show her that I can be trustworthy. I got nothing to hide. She go through any of my apps, any of my pictures, because the fact is I'm trying to build that trust factor back. After you break something that you built so hard to get, it's hard to get it back. So everything I do, I try to make sure that I can show I'm trustworthy. So she didn't see my phone. I have no problem showing my phone.
So let me ask this question. This is for everybody. So do you all think that there are other methods that could be used to regain trust besides, checking a phone?
Yes.
Anybody?
Yes, I agree. There's some ways. Being honest, they ask you a simple question. Don't lie. Be honest with you. Even if it's going to hurt their feelings, you got to be honest, because they'll respect you more of being honest and not being a yes man and not just saying something they want to hear. You got to be honest with them up front and in, because if you don't be honest with them, you just being a yes man, then they'll start second guessing you, just saying something just to get you off your back. So
Right.
I think there's ways around it. There's ways to show trust besides going through phones.
Got you. What you think, Tori?
I honestly feel like resorting to phones is just pointless, especially when it comes to trust, because if you're trying to, I guess, gain trust back, I mean, you got to think about it. People could still be lying. So leaning on phone checking, to me, I just feel like it would be pointless, because people can delete messages, they can change names. So yes, I feel like resorting to other methods, better methods in my head, would be more. I think it would be better.
Okay.
But I do
We have
understand everything he said, though. I agree, and I understand everything he said, because originally in my mind I would have that same thought process. But I feel like as I matured, like, it's just, I don't know. I just feel like it's better methods.
Yeah. Okay. We have a comment here that I skipped over. It says a person can cheat 49 times and delete the evidence. Now what? You know what I mean? So, I think that kind of go hand in hand with what you were saying. Someone else said, if we're being honest, checking phones don't build trust back up. Hey, that's a powerful statement. That is a powerful statement, and this is the reason why, and I agree with that 100%, because you can check my phone, right? But when I know that we're gonna be around and all that stuff like that, I could easily, change or modify. You know what I mean? So I don't think that it could actually build trust. I think there are other ways and methods to build trust besides checking phones. So what do you think are some methods, Tori?
My husband is right here with me as well. He just joined my side. But other methods that I would resort to, when it comes to trust or just talking about something that may have transpired, is just communication, just being open and honest about everything. Yeah, I just feel like it's all about, like they say, communication is key. So
Right. So do you think that you should voice unnecessary information? Like, how sometimes we can over communicate.
yeah, I'm an overthinker, so I get it. But what I do as an overthinker is, I just got to be real with myself by saying, okay, is this just me, being in my feelings, or is there actually something? Because you can see something that's not there just by overthinking. Like, you can cause something to come into play in your mind without it actually ever being there. So I feel like people just got to be mature and honest with themselves about whether it's just, them being in their feelings, or is this something that actually needs, further action.
I got you. All right. Charles, what do you think about that?
I agree, because Now there's ways to go about it besides checking phones, and I feel like sometimes if you be like she said, you be honest and upfront, that goes a long ways. But if you show ways that you're not gonna be honest and upfront, and you have a paper trail of not being honest and upfront, then that could make someone go to other resources like going through a phone or something like that. So if you be honest and continue to build up that trust factor, then you have to worry about ever going through a phone. So continue to be honest and be upfront and be respectful of your spouse could go a long way. So I agree.
Gotcha. All right. Any other? I think this is a pretty intriguing conversation here. What do y'all think?
Pastor Josh is right here. He has
Oh yeah,
thoughts, I
man.
guess.
Come on in, Josh. Bring it on. Bring the noise, man. Bring the noise.
Yes, sir. What? So let me get the overall question is should you be able to check your partner's phone, or what's the
Right. Yeah. So that's the topic. The topic is, do you think that a person should check their spouse, girlfriend, fiance phone, at any, given moment when there's a thought of, they might be doing something or anything like that?
should you be able to? I think personally, I think that sounds like more of an invasion of privacy. And if you feel like you need to go through your partner's phone, then there's some, deeper things going on that kind of needs to be addressed.
Right.
And I think I came in on this last part with saying, are there ways to like fix that? Truthfully, I think it will come down to the integrity of a person,
Yeah.
because I can't trust, if you've been lying to me this long time, how can I now trust that, okay, at a flip of a switch, now you finna tell the truth? So now it's gonna come down to integrity. Like how are you doing, or what are you doing when I'm not there? And not just with me, but with other people. So
Yeah.
now I'm not just checking for your character with me, but I'm checking for your character with your family, your friends. Like if you do me wrong, then for sure you'll do your friends wrong, you'll do your family wrong, you'll do anybody wrong if you willing to hurt the person that you call the closest to you. So I would mainly look at integrity, because communication at that point is worth two pennies rubbed together, if that. So yeah, I should you be able to look through your phone? I don't think so. But if you feel like you need to, then there's some other problems that needs to be addressed there.
Yeah, because I mean, certainly I believe it's going to be security issues and trust issues that are there. So, because I think we might have a question. How long do you take? Let's see. How long do you take that? Because there's many that are honest and upfront that still break the trust. That's true. That's true. I think it all boils down to the communicating piece. You know what I mean? If you feel like whatever, let's talk about it. If you think whatever, let's talk about it. You know what I mean? So we can kind of come to a common ground. So I won't be, want to go through your phone or gaze through your phone or whatever the case may be. I think that, of course, that trust, the trust factor is in relationships. You know what I mean? So somebody, if you trust somebody, then that. Oh, so this brings it, and I guess we can talk about this a little bit as well before we terminate the broadcast. But so that's the same thing as checking the phone and blah blah blah. What if you see somebody, your spouse, getting a little too goofy with somebody else? You know what I mean, of the opposite sex. Does that, you know, does that make or create the thought that, okay, maybe I need to go and check into this, or do I need to ask a question? Like, how do you respond to that? What's your thoughts?
I think truthfully, I think everything boils down to integrity and the character of a person. Like if I know your character is to be goofy, before we was together, then I can't expect you to change 180, now that we married.
Right,
If that's your character,
right,
then that's your character. So it's going to boil down to, okay, well, how were you before we got married? Like, were you in everybody's faces and you were flirting intentionally, or is that just your
Right.
character? You
So let
know,
me ask, what if the character of that person, I'm using a northern term. I'm sorry when I'm saying goofy, I'm talking about, like, wilding out, like kind of just being, we call it Joe, but just kind of being all in this person's face, flirtatious, if you will. So if you do have a person that, before marriage or before getting in cahoots together with the relationship, um, and they were this flirtatious individual, you know what I mean? And they continue on with that, that behavior. Like, I mean, do you talk about that, or, how do you, whatever, you know what I mean?
yes, sir. No, I think that needs to be addressed before the serious conversation of, exclusiveness. So, like, if that's your character, then either one or two things. Either I'm going to accept that that's your character, and I'm going to have to accept that that's your personality, whether we call it a personality flaw or not. Or if I'm not able to handle that, then I have to be accountable to myself. So I can't go into a relationship knowing that I can't handle somebody that's outgoing, somebody that's super, comical or relatable, and people are drawn to them. If I can't handle that, because that's that, I have to be accountable to myself. So I can't blame them for my jealousy if I know that's who they were. Now,
Right,
if we get into a relationship and that's not who you were before the relationship, and now all of a sudden you this outgoing person, and now you draw on all these people, and now that's different, you know. But
right,
I think it all depends on, what was it from the jump. Like, if you goofy, silly, and stuff like that, and that's your character, then that's who you are. But as far as, and even when you get in a relationship, okay, you goofy and stuff like that, but there are boundaries, like, and sometimes people need those boundaries drawn out for them instead of, and I think sometimes in relationships and marriages, there's people walk into marriages and relationships with expectations on their mind, and they never verbalize those expectations. So now I'm upset about expectations that were never verbalized, that the other person never understood or never thought about. And because of that, I'm upset, and there's this disconnect because nobody knew that that's what you expected out of me.
right,
Nobody knew that you expected me to cut off all my friends or to be this certain way and stuff like that. So I think it comes down to, like you said, communication, and what was it from the beginning and to now, and who are you. And people go through change in their life, but at the core center of who you are, that shouldn't change.
right. So you said something very powerful, that I'd like to, ask a question about, and this is for everybody. Do you think that when a person gets into a relationship with somebody or about to get married, do you think that they should cut off all of their old friends, all of their old connections, and all that stuff like that? Is that a security issue? Is that a trust issue, or is that just something that needs to happen?
I I think that's a respect issue.
Okay.
If I'm about to get married, then out of respect for my fiance, soon to be bride, or my wife, I'm not finna be hitting up, or I'm not finna be meeting up, or I'm not finna be casually dining and dating with, old flings,
Yeah.
and I think that's just out of respect. Now,
That's
as far as friends and stuff like that, um, you know, I think there's lines and there's boundaries. We may have known each other since sixth grade, and we may be cool and stuff, but we not finna be, he and ha ha and kikiing and pushing and doing all that extra stuff now that I'm in a, solidified relationship. And it's not because, of insecurity or anything, but it's really just out of respect. Like, I don't want my significant other to think, and I think something that we as, spouses and people in relationships should be more mindful of is protecting. If you love somebody, you should want to protect that person's mental state, and
right.
you should have a desire to protect that person's I don't know the word, but you know that idea of nothing's going on. Like there's levels to it, and there are insecurities, but there also is a side of let me make sure that my wife or my spouse
Yeah,
doesn't feel or aren't put in a position to feel some kind of way.
right. I got you. I got you. That makes sense.
What about
And I think
yours?
what I was going to ask too, but I think I'm gonna leave this for another broadcast. But I want to talk about one day about opposite sex as best friends and stuff like that. You know, the thoughts of people about that. But that's gonna be another topic when you talk about uh, friendships and all that stuff like that. I think that's vital. All right, we got a comment. If it was a situation between them two, she should choose to take a step back if she's serious about being in a relationship. Yeah, I agree. I agree that, and I agree what you were saying, Josh, about it being a respect thing. I think that if you're getting in a relationship and you're moving forward and you had all these little things from the past and whatever like that, I think that is vital that hey, I done moved on with my life. Don't hit me up no more. You know what I'm saying? And so do you think it's necessary for the spouse to, or whatever stage that person is in, whether it's a, wifey stage, fiance stage, whatever stage uh, that person is in, do you think it's necessary for them to update you on information like, hey, babe, Johnny that I used to talk to, man, he found me on whatever, we cut ties, but he hit me up and wanted to know how I was doing, and I said I was doing fine. Is that what that is that?
What?
That's
is, is that a problem?
uh, I don't think that's I don't think it's a problem. I think it becomes a problem when it starts becoming secretive, like you're intentionally and actively trying to hide a conversation. You know,
Okay. So
if
Why
somebody
what
would I tell you though? I don't know. I feel like why if somebody from my past messaged me, I feel like why would I tell you that they messaged me? Because I feel like that would just cause things
yeah,
that could be avoided. Like if I didn't respond to them, why would I just be like, "Oh, this person messaged me"? But I mean,
yeah, I don't think the need to talk about it or bring it up is necessary. But if that conversation goes on and now it becomes a secret that you're
so
talking to them or you've been in conversation, I think then it becomes, well,
let
why
me
is
ask
this
this.
a
Let me ask
secret?
this while you right there in that piece. So what I'm hearing is, so like, if somebody inboxed me from my past, and I don't tell my spouse, is it a secret or is it irrelevant?
I feel like it's
Wait, what do you say?
irrelevant if I didn't respond. But if I respond, I feel like at that point, then I should tell him because I don't want out if he was to find out, I wouldn't want him to find out from somebody else because that would make me look bad like I had like some hidden agenda or some underlying intentions. But if I never responded, I feel like it's irrelevant, like because I wouldn't want to bring up something and now he has thoughts or questions about something that's not even there because I didn't even respond.
Right. And y'all got some great. Somebody just said something very, very powerful. It said it can create unnecessary conflict,
Right.
which is true. It can, but then what about that time? So what about when it comes down to like another message come through, your husband's there or your wife is there, and you like, man, why they keep hitting me up? And then they're like, what you mean keep? What you mean by he keep hitting you up? Oh, because he had texted me the last time, and then it's like, well, why didn't you tell me if we supposed to have this open relationship? If we supposed to be talking? So I'm just asking questions. So what do y'all think? Do you think that it's necessary to talk about, or is it unnecessary?
I I I mean
Uh,
I think that's a little bit, and maybe I'm just too nonchalant with certain things, especially like with past things. But I mean, I can understand if it's like a serious that's like this is your ex that you dated for 5 years, you lost your virginity to, and y'all was, had this long, thing, families knew each other. I can understand if it's something like that. But you talking about your boyfriend or girlfriend from 8th grade hit you up, talking about
Yeah,
some,
no, no,
hey,
let's stay there. Let's stay right there. Let's stay. We ain't gonna do the eighth grade. Let's talk about if it was the dude that took her virginity. If it was the dude that, she was engaged to, but it didn't work out. If it was the guy that went to the family reunions for 3 years and then disappeared, and now you're the new guy. If would it so is should it be based upon the person?
Honestly,
Is
I
it based upon
believe it's based on the person. Like if my husband knows the person, like if he knew the person as well, like I would tell him like, hey, like this person keep, hit me
But
up.
what if you don't know the
But
person?
if he doesn't know the person, I feel like it would still be irrelevant, like because I mean
I need to know how the relationship ended. Like if he broke up with you, if I know he broke up with you, then I need to see, because there might be some unresolved conversation and questions. But
like if he
if
knows
she left him, then it's like, okay, well,
no, I
she
feel like
dropped him, he a dub. But nah,
no,
if he
I
left you at the altar, then it's like,
So
hold on now.
so that's
no.
it. I mean, so does it? So now it's based upon the person then.
Yeah, I feel like it's based on the person because if my husband knows the person or
But what
he
if
comes
you
in
don't know?
contact with this person, I feel like it would be a respect thing because I wouldn't want my husband to walk past this person every other day or even know of the person and have no idea that that person is reaching out to his wife. I feel like that's disrespectful and that's something he needs to know. But if he doesn't know the person and I'm not responding, I just feel like it's just kind of irrelevant, out of my out of sight type thing.
So all right. So let me ask you this question. So do y'all think that your spouse or whoever y'all with, do you think that it's necessary for them to know who was the heartbreak, who was the one that you was in love with for this long period of time? When it comes down to exes, do you think that's important in a relationship?
I think that's subjective, because some people can't really handle that kind of stuff.
Okay,
I think that is, I think that's a case by case, because some people want to know, and because they just want to know. It's and it can go different ways, because if we like say we living in the town that you grew up if me and my wife married and we living in the town that she grew up in, then I would feel like it would be necessary to know, okay, like if your old guys still live here and they see you in public and stuff like that, then I feel like it would just be on my mind to, I feel like I would feel better knowing like, okay, well, who is these guys that are seeing you and know of you and have had you, so that it's just in my mind that if I see them, then I just know if they're trying to be disrespectful or not, versus um I guess if we move to across the country and we don't know nobody, and it's a fling and they hitting you up over Facebook and y'all ain't talked in 8 years, then I mean I think that's a little bit different.
gotcha. So what you're basically saying is that if y'all in the same vicinity or city or whatever like that, do you need to know, who these guys are, because maybe one of them may walk up and one of them may work on your job. You know what I'm saying? You work, hey, you work with my ex. So is it important to know, like, how many times a person was in love, or do y'all think those things matter? Y'all think that matter?
Man,
In the
I
grand scheme of things, no. Not
yeah,
in
I
the
don't
grand
think
scheme
it
of things.
matters because if you're secure in your relationship, why does it matter? I mean, I don't know. That's just those are my thoughts on it. I wouldn't want to know. I mean, I happen to know, but I don't feel like it's a requirement for me to know who he was in love with because I'm secure in what we have. So I'm not like, I mean, what's the point of me knowing?
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I'm just asking the question because some people believe that they need to know every, yeah, hey, who is that? Y'all was talking for a long time. Oh, we went to elementary school together. All right. Well, who is that? Oh, we used to date. Y'all used to date. So
Oh,
do you think is it?
I mean, that's different though. Like we were saying, like if you I honestly, I feel like if you're in contact with them or you see them like on a daily basis or every now and then, like he was saying, so you can kind of gauge like respect level and boundaries when I mean conversation take place or interaction take place. For those purposes, yeah. But if you don't like, I mean, if you don't see them or you're not in contact with them or anything like that, I don't feel like it matters.
Will you be comfortable? And this is for everybody. And I know we kind of go in a different direction. We off of the phones right now, but I guess we could talk since we. How do y'all feel about your lady or your man working with their ex? Like they work the same job. What is that?
Kind of
Yeah,
ex?
what kind of job though?
No. What kind of ex?
What
Like,
kind of job?
I need to know what kind of ex this was. Was this third grade? We gave each other Valentine's Day notes, or this was he left you at the altar
Yeah, we talk
and
ex like one of those. We done had some experience together. You know what I mean? Is that how would you feel if your spouse worked a job with somebody like that?
What kind of job? Like, do they have to be interactive? Like,
I mean, they work at the same place. Like they work
like one front of the house, one back of the house, or both front of the
5 days a week.
I would just I think a conversation of boundaries would just need to be, again, going back to boundaries and expectations. Because you work with your ex, I expect XYZ from you in regards to y'all's communication. If he approaches you, if he tries you, these are my expectations for you. And let's have a conversation. Do you agree with them? Do you not agree with them? And if you don't agree with
But
them,
you
why
can't see
don't?
them at work. So, I mean, even if you have those expectations, you can't see that person at work. So how do you know that they're being
Well,
met?
that's the trust. We're not talking about a disloyal partner. We talking about a partner that you in a relationship with.
Right.
Mm.
So that
So do
needs
y'all? I
to be a question.
mean, are y'all okay with your other or your partner working with their ex that they done been with? That's the question. That's just is that yes or is that no or what y'all think?
And if it's just like a little part-time or side job, I'm like, no, like you can do without that job. But if it's a job that you can't do without, then I guess I think it's different for women because women are flirtatious, natural. I don't know. I feel like a lot of women are flirtatious and they have like underlying agendas when it comes to trying to
Nah, dudes do the
flirt
same thing.
flirt with a man.
1000%.
So
Ain't you the same
it's
way?
it's not that I wouldn't trust my husband, but I wouldn't trust the female because I don't know. I feel like it's a little different.
I
But if it's
think
a job that he can do without, I'm like, nah, like you can
We well
you
one
can
of our
job.
one of our one of our viewers said mother got to find another job.
I'm
We have a
just
question
more
here.
concerned about the respect or disrespect. Like, you done told him that you're in a relationship, you married or whatever. He's still trying to. Now I got to come up to the job. Now I got to get involved because clearly her word ain't strong enough. So you have to. I just need to make sure you feel my presence.
She gonna be doing checking cameras at that point.
Nah, I ain't checking cameras. I'm just gonna let.
Hey,
He just needs
somebody
to
said I'm clocking in too. Hey, that's funny. All right, we got a question. If your wife's ex came to church, how would you feel? So that's a good question. I actually like that question. I
That's a
actually
good
like
question.
that question.
I got
So
I got to see him broken before the Lord. I got to see him broken before the Lord before I think it's real.
Oh man. So what do y'all think, man? You
I
know, the ex coming to
actually
church.
invited my husband's ex to church several times
Really?
before. Yeah, you didn't know that, but I actually invited her to church several times before, and it's I don't know.
So you all right with that?
I'm all right with it
So
because I
what if
mean,
she came in there stepping like she looking super good? Like how would you feel? Like
she be she be stepping whether she in the church or not. So I just feel like it just I mean, it was a me thing. Like I was confident enough in myself and in my relationship to the point to where I don't care if she's stepping or not. She gonna be stepping for somebody else. It ain't gonna be for this one. So, I mean,
hey,
yeah.
look, I ain't gonna lie, this is a true story, man. I was a young preacher. This is before I was pastoring, man, and a young lady that I used to talk to, man, she just comes into church, man, and I didn't know I think I messed up the scripture I was talking about. It's kind of shit, dude. I'm like, yo, what is she doing here? I mean, came in there, stepping all the way. I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going on now? So how do y'all feel about that? Everybody else, how y'all feel if your spouse's ex or your partner's ex come in the church and they stepping like high stepping, and what if your wife that particular day, man, is kind of on the on the side of, I ain't really feel like getting dressed today, and then your ex come in there looking good. What's going on in the minds of the people? Like what you saying, wife, if she coming in there, whatever. Anybody there?
Mm. What was the last part that you had asked?
uh so what I'm asking is, like, what if the and this goes both ways. What if a guy come in and your husband ain't really his top notch self that particular day, and your ex come in there and they looking phenomenal, you know what I mean, and she's looking good, how do y'all feel about that? Is that all right? You good with that?
What you think?
I don't know what you think.
If my ex comes in,
If your ex comes in the church and she's looking good and I'm not looking my best that day, what's going through your mind?
she an ex for a reason.
He said she's an ex for a reason. That's a great answer.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer. Somebody said, let me change my outfit for Sunday. Oh man.
I'm
Okay.
gonna be like,
Back
well,
to
he's looking good for somebody else now. So,
yeah.
I mean, I already got, I mean, I'm straight. Like you said, the ex is an ex for a reason.
Yeah.
Looking good, but probably covering up something else.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. That's true. And I can get with that, man. So, but it's a it's a good conversation, man. Um, uh, uh, I'm gonna let y'all get off of here, man. I appreciate everybody. Somebody said, I pray her soul gets saved. Oh man. Yeah, so okay, we got a comment before we leave out here. My husband ex came into the church, but she wasn't stepping though. It was a Bible study tonight. Anyway, he started joking with him and said, "You had any flashbacks?" Oh man. Most times, man, exes when they come, they know they coming. They normally be stepping. They
Hmm.
normally come all the way. What I mean, they ain't just coming, with some, half stuff
Goddamn, who
going on. But,
that be my
most
name?
He said he would want to know who invited them.
cases. Hey, y'all need to take her to the other church. We got two churches out here. Send her to the other church.
I do have one more question going back to the original topic before we go, just for clarity.
Mhm.
So, I know you don't agree with checking phones, but like you were talking about earlier, if there was like infidelity or like cheating going on, do you think that, I don't know, checking the phone should still not be in the picture? Because like, what if it's just on the basis of like to see how long it's been going on, or like what led up to the cheating. Like, what do you think about that? It's
Uh,
just for
my personal thoughts is, you know what I mean, if they cheated, y'all got over it. I don't think checking a phone is going to validate anything because, I mean, you still could delete stuff in the phone. So it's basically about, how to rebuild that trust outside of the phone. You know what I mean? We're conversing more, we're talking more about what's going on with me and all stuff like that. So, getting a phone or checking phones, I don't think that's ever necessary because it could make the person that did wrong, it can make them feel some type of way after a while. You know what I mean? It can make them feel like, yo, I'm doing better than why you keep harassing me to check my phone. You know what I mean? But yeah, my personal opinion, I don't think it's necessary whether they cheated or not.
I'm saying like
It ain't.
just in the moment though, like not constantly checking afterwards, but like in the moment when you officially find out or somebody officially finds out that their spouse has cheated on them, what if they just want to look just the one time just to see like what led up to it, or how long has like conversation been going on? Do you think just in
I
the
don't
moment
think so.
would be okay or no?
No, and reason being is because sometimes all the extra detail just makes stuff worse. If you just know that, I cheated, I messed up, I don't think you need to know like where we was at, the starting point of the conversation, all that stuff like that, because that could it'll prolong the trust issues. You know what I mean? It'll make it longer because now you're like, so you mean to tell me while I was pregnant that you was talking to her? You know what I mean? So you start looking at it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I already I did what I did. I wasn't thinking when I did it. So I don't think the time, all that stuff matters because all that is to, it's psychological. It makes you want to be mad even more. It wants you want to know more and more detail about something that you really don't want to know about. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's necessary.
Right.
All right. Somebody said my husband doesn't have an ex, so I might be okay. Hey man, you good. Those are those be the best ones, man. Well, nah, I had to take that back. I had to take that back. I had to take that back. But yeah, that's good, man. That's good. But look, man, this is my longest podcast here. One of these days, man, I'm gonna get like a round table. Maybe I don't know if y'all want to be up this late, but I think the Facebook Live probably work. You gotta be all together. But I think this is good. I think this is a decent topic of discussion. But I'll be back Monday. We'll have another topic we want to talk about. And I think we'll probably talk about can opposite sex have best friends? I mean, can they be best friends opposite sex? We talk about that. See what people think about that. But anyway, I appreciate everybody getting on tonight. It's Pastor P. I'm here to inspire smiles, inspire behaviors through great talk. So everybody have a good night. I will talk to you Monday.